Hello, and happy Sunday. Yes, happy lazy Sunday. Munich Hellas, um, doing very well. Tastes really nice, really nice. I was getting a bit touch of apple, um, green apples the other day, but it's not now at all. It's dry, clean. There's a touch of malt to it, just a little. It's very different to the Pilsner ones. Now that's finished, sadly. Um, and the bitterness is coming through a bit more. It seemed quite sweet, but the bitterness seems to be coming through more. It's nice, clean, and dry and crisp. That Nova Lager yeast, I absolutely swear by it. It's brilliant stuff. And so I brewed on Thursday. As you can see, the balloon is inflated. That is the Munich Dunkel. I did the Dunkel on Thursday, dropping it onto that yeast cake. So this will be the final beer using that yeast. That'll be number 3 if you're using that yeast, and we'll leave it at that. That's a dark beer, so I've been going from light to more malty like this. This is a bit maltier, and then to that, which is a dark beer, darkish. I say for a lager, it's dark, so it's like a dark brown. It came out spot on. I was worried it wouldn't because it was raining all the time during the boil, so I was worried I might drop the odd point because of that, but no, it's turned out spot on. Really happy with that. Hopefully it will turn out okay. So Thursday, so it's what we Sunday, so 3 days it's been in now. It's at 15 degrees, got 2 more days at 15, then it'll go up to 18 for 3, and then 3 days cold crash, and that seems to work. Certainly worked for this. It'll definitely work for that, because I mean that's, like I say, 3rd on the yeast cake, so that should really kick in. Pitched at onto the yeast, I think it was about 21 degrees, but then brought straight back down to 15, so it should be okay. It hasn't caused a problem before. I just can't get any colder than 21 this weather when it pours onto the yeast. Anything else? Yesterday I was out at a local beer festival, the Whitby Lions Beer Festival. It's their 12th one this year. I wasn't sure whether it would be 14, 13, but yeah, there was a couple obviously missed during lockdowns and such, the old COVID era. Standout beers. Well, I had the Citra, the Saltaire Citra. Sorry, I've got the sheet in my hand here. Saltaire Citra. That was really nice. There was a Farmer's Blonde by Bradfield and Hop Till You Drop by Derby Brewery. All cask ales. And I didn't get the few I really wished I'd had. But see, the event started on the Thursday. I didn't get to it till yesterday. I am feeling a bit ropey today, so this is hair of the dog, really. Hopefully that'll bring me back up to scratch. Northern Monk, A Little Faith. Not heard of that before. Not on cask. Hazy pale ale packed with soft fruit flavours, smooth, tropical and juicy. On cask. That would have been nice to try. Jaipur, never had Jaipur on cask before. And Titanic Cherry Porter. Obviously I've had the plum porter and I really enjoyed that. The taste of those plums is fantastic, but sadly all 3 of those were gone by Saturday. Unsurprising really, considering I think everyone else in the know would have known that and gone for those as well. So it is what it is, isn't it? It was a good night. It was a good after. Well, I got there about 3:15 in the afternoon. There till about 10, half 10. Then home and bed. It was good. I must have had about 50. I think I had 15. So I got 15 tickets. It was like one of those you buy the tickets at the door and you swap them for the beers. So it was about 15 halves. I got the glass as well, so I got another glass. And it's very similar to the last one they did, and I can't show you one because I don't have it. Originally they used to be like tankards, and they've gone to now like a stemmed glass, which is good because I brought my last stem glass and I really missed having one, so I've got another one now from there, so that's good. Any other news? Not really. Nothing really other than the brew. Nothing really has happened. I'm looking forward to doing the next brew. Now, of that, I'm torn between two ideas. The book that I bought a couple of weeks ago that I got from Oxfam for £1 was brew beers that you know kind of thing. It's all like old school beers from the 70s and 60s. There's things like old peculiar in there. There's Badger Ale and stuff. I might try one of those to put on the handle, because obviously weather's starting to deteriorate, isn't it? Oh, it certainly feels like it's nothing but rain every day. Apart from yesterday. Yesterday afternoon was brilliant at the Beer Festival. It was absolute glorious sunshine, so I sat outside most of that until it got dark, and then we went inside. Yeah, so I am thinking ahead now to the hand pull, but I still haven't fixed the beer engine at all. I need to get the kit for replacing all the washers inside. You know, I suppose you call them washers. Basically, there's all the rubbers inside I need to replace, because it is drawing air in as I pull, and it's not pulling the pint properly, so I do need to do something about that. Certainly in time to have a beer on. So I'm torn between doing something like that. I'm looking at a Swindon brewery one. I can't remember the name of it. It's very simple recipes. It's basically, most of them are basic malt, barley, usual sort of ale malt, something like Maris Otter or whatever, some wheat malt and a bit of crystal, followed by some Fuggles, some Goldings, and a bit of sugar. It changes the sugar up dependent on the recipe. Sometimes it's soft brown sugar, sometimes it's inverse sugar, and some is some of it is molasses. So I'm tempted, because I've got a load of molasses up on the shelf, up here, there we are, that I bought especially to do the old ale, the Bible old ale, but I haven't done that in a long time, and I fancy trying one of these beers. Or the other idea is I've got some yeast still that I bought with the Novolog yeast. I think I got a farmhouse one, and I got a Cali Common one, and I want to maybe do one of those beers. So I'm not sure yet. I'm still tired in my mind what to do. Go for one of the beers out of that book, try some old school ales, or do a Cali Common or a farmhouse, maybe Saison type, or a grisette. I know Dickie did a grisette, and I haven't watched his video on it. I should see how that turned out, because that would be nice. But like I said, this summer's kind of coming to an end, isn't it? I did notice the start of brambles. The brambles are growing and they're red, and the odd one I've seen black already. And when you see that, you know it's pretty much summer's over. To come, not a lot really from me. Any special purchases? Not really, no. Haven't bought anything, haven't done anything since last I spoke to you, which was probably last weekend. I don't think I did a Wednesday one. Yeah, so it's been a week. I did a quick short yesterday just showing the casks in situ at the Beer Festival, and that's about all I've done. I was hoping to do a bit more video in there. However, I bumped into a friend and got chatting, and the next thing you know, you kind of don't want to be doing videos, do you? Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm under 10 minutes for a change, so I think I will leave it at that. I haven't. Oh, I will. Nearly got me, didn't you? This week's been mainly about Thomas's pump. We went on the Monday to the hospital. 3.5 hours, I think it was. We were there getting doing the learning how to use the pump, how to program it, what to do for certain things, how to fit the cannula onto his body to attach the pump to him, and all that kind of stuff. And that was great. Got home. Although I say it was great, it wasn't. When it came to fitting the cannula, it took 3 of us to hold Thomas, because he was having a right meltdown, because he thought he was going to be upset again. But that got fitted. I didn't actually see it in time because I was too busy holding his arms and his head and his chest, upper body bit, and trying to hold him steady while the nurse attached the cannula. It's just like a firing pin thing. You draw back. You draw back the needle on like a plastic thing, and then you just squeeze, and it fires it into his ass, basically. Well, that's what we did. It went into his ass. Anyway, so I hadn't seen that. It's a bit I'd missed, which becomes important. So we get home, it's all fine, but it's on the back of his ass, and it keeps catching it when he takes his trousers off. And so this was the Monday. By the Tuesday, he catched it a couple of times. On the Wednesday, he did it, and it came out. Weren't sure whether it had or not at first, so we left it to see if it was fine or not, but he kept rising and rising and rising, his blood sugars. So I went to peel it off, and I could see it knocked it out. So we left it, we went back to injections. Came the Thursday, he was supposed to replace the cartridge for the pump, which is filled with insulin, and the cannula and the pipework to his cannula. We had to do that again on the Thursday anyway, so we left it till the Thursday. I reattached again, spent trying to work out how to fill the cartridge using the syringe and the vial of insulin, and then connecting the cannula to him with the firing pin system and all that, and that was a real fast. It didn't seem to work. The pump was telling me that I need to find a new site because it's not working, so I had to then fire a new cannula into him, kept the old cartridge, and because you got a connect and a disconnect on it, on the pipework and the pump, and you can just leave the cannula there. So if you go swimming, say, or having a shower or whatever, you can do that, so you don't get the pump wet, because the pump's waterproof, but it's not waterproof, you know what I mean. You can get wet, but you don't want to immerse it in water. So I fired a new one, connected it. It still seemed to be climbing and climbing, so I did a whole restart of the cartridge, because it said it wasn't he wasn't getting it into him. The pump was saying, yeah, that load didn't go in. So I did a whole new cartridge again, whole new cannula and wiring and stuff, and fired that up into his ass. First two I'd done on his stomach, and then the last one he asked. But the problem with him is he's got no body fat whatsoever, and so on the stomach is a problem. And these are straight in cannulas, when you can get angled ones, which might have been better, because it's supposed to go to the subcutaneous layer rather than to muscle or anywhere else. I mean, if I'm firing it straight into his stomach, it just wasn't going anywhere. Anyway, I put the third one on his butt. Spoke to the nurse for an hour or so about how much he was getting, because it wasn't working. He seemed to be climbing and staying, and then he dropped a bit, but then going back up again. We altered the algorithm for how much he gets, how much per carb and stuff. Got all that sorted, and finally by that would have been Friday by the time we actually got around to getting it all back and sorted. It's been a stressful week with that. So today and yesterday it's all working now, or has been, and seems to be running smoothly. Through the night, no problems, level playing field. Daytime he's up and down a bit, but that's you getting in your carbs and stuff, putting for the food that he has, and getting that right and tweaking it, and so he's dropping and rising enough. Yeah, we're back on track with that, I think, now, and he's happy with it, because instead of having an injection every time he eats or every correction, it just intravenously doing it into the cannula. He has to go around with it, connect in a little sort of like bum bag all the time, because it's quite bulky. I mean, it's the size of a credit card, but it's quite thick. It's probably about that thick, which is quite. I mean, it's a touchscreen thing. It's $3,500 to get one if you're paying for it. I mean, the NHS is paying, which is amazing, but $3,500. And they say, oh yeah, if you smash it, just let us know and get you a new one. Like, fucking hell. I mean, it's probably twice as much as my car. It is more than twice as much as my car for one of these pumps. I think that says more about my car, I suppose. Anyway, he is up and running and fighting fit, and just enjoying himself again. We went to the paddling pool on Friday afternoon with it all sorted and that, and he unclipped it and went in and played around. It's all connected to a sensor which is on his arm. It transmits to it, which tells him when he needs to have insulin or not, and keep it at this level point. He's loving it, and he was quite happy to chat to other kids about it. And oh yeah, I've got this new pump and all this, and so he's kind of calm with it. I mean, he doesn't get embarrassed by it. He doesn't feel weird with it or anything. Which is good because kids can be so harsh and mean with differences, and so he's doing well so far. So that's an update on Thomas there, and an update on everything beer wise as well. The Thomas update probably has taken just as long as the original update. Anyway, so we're into 15 minutes, so sorry about that. If you got this far, thanks for watching. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.